All right. What do you say we swing our partner round and round? Because it's the end of the night. We going down in 3, 2, 1. You're listening to the Guardian Hub.
You're listening to the Guardian Hub.
You're listening to the Guardian Hub.
You are listening to the Guardian Hub. The best
hub on the net.
Welcome, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to the Guardian Hub podcast. This is episode number 275, where we talk Destiny and more. This week, right now, we have me, Kingsley Mac, and Mr. Cyn Media. How you doing?
Cinsley Mac in the house.
Cinsley Mac, or Kingsley Cyn? King Cyn?
King Cyn.
Cyn King?
Either way, we'll take that fusion.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Don't know if it quite works, but it's a thing.
Let's never discuss this after today.
But unfortunately, it's out there for everyone to hear. I mean, speaking of names, I'm salty. I still can't change my name back.
They ever come out with a fix? I know they came out with a fix, but then they fixed their fix.
No, they didn't come out with a fix. They came out with a lie, and they didn't fix the lie yet. So,
what's that game? Truth and a lie, and you got to figure out two truths and a lie, or something. You got to figure out the lie.
Yeah. This is kind of to be expected. One of the things, we have to remember with laying off a lot of people, I think some people are just not realizing what this all means. And of course, people will be, oh, yeah, that makes sense. But I think a lot of people are just kind of ignoring what can happen. And first, there's been lots of talk where people have unrealistic expectations and all these grand ideas of what's going to be happening with Destiny, Frontiers, and all this stuff. I'm like, dudes, the rumors, the spoilers coming out, plus the fact that they have less staff. If anything, we are getting less content next year, not more. And people are already, and then it's already not great right now. But here's where a big thing's going to be too is, what if we're getting more and more bugs where things become semi-unplayable from time to time? It's certainly possible because, and I do remember one of the areas laid off is testing and quality assurance. I'm like, here we go. So we noticed, we'll get to this a little bit later, but some bugs in the new exotic mission. And of course, this name change thing. Kind of annoying. This has bugged me more than any other bug in the game so far, especially because it's like, why did this have to get messed up? I can understand more so things in the game, but why this? And then they have the audacity to claim it's fixed. Couldn't a fix? Did they not have time to do even just the most basic testing, tested on at least one person? Because here's the thing, they said it was fixed. You go to the Twitter, every single person said it's not fixed yet. So it's not like it's just fixed for some people. It's not fixed yet they told us it's fixed. So I can't change my name back yet. I'm still Guardian.
That is kind of awful.
Right? That is really, really odd. That's like, oh no, I'm not saying it's exactly like the scenario, but it's so bombastic. It's like a similar thing. Like you guys, at the dealership saying like, okay, we're going to be open this Sunday, and you plan it all ahead of time, and then you're not open on Sunday. If people come down, they're like, you said you're going to be open on Sunday.
Nah.
So
it's all a ruse.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of get that. It does kind of suck.
Yeah.
They should have had a better, I guess to me on my end, I don't know. How is it that hard of a fix at this point? Like, shouldn't it?
Yeah. I'm not even saying anything on that. Like, I'm upset that it happened, but I'm fair about situations. I know things can be hard to fix because, again, you have less staff right now, and then also maybe some really weird thing happened that someone messed up on along the way that's just presenting now. But don't say it's fixed when it's not fixed.
Oh man. Well, one of these days.
Mm-hmm. We have your
Either
car
that-
ready. You go down to the place. It's not ready. You said it was ready. Oh, we didn't actually mean that.
Or it could be my service department. You try to call in and you can't get a hold of it. And then you just show up and they're like, yeah, your car's not going to be ready for a few more days.
But that's how it should have been. That's better than even them calling you and saying your car's ready, and then you show up and it's not actually ready. Can you imagine that?
Or it's ready, but they didn't invoice the paperwork and it's not real. You can't really take it and run.
Yeah. Oh, but what else is new in life? Anything interesting outside of gaming or anything like that?
My ACs are still kind of down, I guess. I have my lower unit is leaking water into the basement. I did run it a little bit today just to cool down the house because it's been 80 degrees inside the house. The upper unit, we're still waiting on parts to come in to fix that. The 3 parts I heard are in, and then I got to wait for the guy to come and install it.
Sorry to hear that.
So yeah, 80 plus degrees in the house for most of these days. It doesn't affect me as much as it does the wife and kids.
Yeah, but still, that's not great.
But they're going. She's taking the kid to Great Wolf Lodge here for a couple of days for my youngest birthday. Monday, Tuesday, than it was. They won't be here. Hopefully, I'll get some news about get this knocked out here, why they're gone, and come to the house so they.
Yeah. Well, great reminder, and I know this isn't the case for you, but for people in general to have heating, cooling systems, but especially during the summertime when the AC is running, change your filters, people. It's even more important in the summer because what can happen is, I had this happen to me once, but luckily it's not an expensive fix. You just got to wait. But if you don't change your filter often and then the airflow gets constricted, the heat pump, the AC line can like freeze per se, where the stuff's not moving through. And the fix to that is just shut it off for a while, a couple hours at least, and then it'll clear itself up. But also you need to get a new filter, air filter in, because you got to have that airflow.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy to forget. I remember my parents' house growing up, like they never changed the filter. And then they had some big problems once. And the guy's like, well, if you would have just changed the filter at least once, you would have had all these problems. And then even just hearing about people in the neighborhood, my AC stopped working. And they're like, well, check the power, make sure a circuit didn't flip for the compressor outside, and then check your filter. And 95% of the time for those people, it fixed it with one of those things.
Yeah, I'm bad about changing my filters.
Mm.
Plus, one of them's in the attic, so to be able to do that is not fun. I got to get a ladder to get up there and screw it into the like I have to unscrew like a part of the furnace to change the filter. Not fun.
I mean, I guess we can get into it. What's with your janky ass sounding system also with having 2 up and down? Like we have almost a 3,000 square foot home and we only have one that does good for the whole house.
So I guess it's like I know there's a lot of houses that have 1 unit, right? I've never found them to be that efficient.
Wrong. I've been in 3 houses that have been that efficient, but
so yeah, okay. So think of it like this, right? You're going to cool the upstairs gets the hottest. So you start cooling and then that gets cold, but where do you judge the temperature at? Is it one thermostat? Where's the thermostat at? Is it on the main level where it gets colder quicker?
So that's not efficiency. Like we have plenty of efficiency. I thought you just meant like if you have a really big house, yeah, you do need multiple units to get an actual amount of airflow and efficiency. But as far as the temperature differential, yeah, if you want to, there are ways to fix that too, where what you do during the summer, and again, it's only good if you have the vents built well, but during the summer, you 90% close all the vents in the basement and then full open in the main floor. And then that's during the summer. And then during the winter, you do opposite. You 90% close the vents on the top floor, and then you open full on the bottom floor.
You could do that. That is a royal pain in the rear end, though.
Is it?
But I find it because I have quite a few
filter.
vents, right?
Yeah.
So my vents for the basement, when we built this part of the room, they're in the ceiling. So I would have to get a step ladder and have to close them. I leave them
Yeah.
open, even though it gets cold down here during the summer because it's a small room and it's got 3 vents. And the main level stays comfortable, and then the upstairs gets a little warm, but having them independently controlled, like the upstairs can cool to its main operating temperature
Yeah.
and then run, and then obviously some of that will come downstairs through the stairwell,
Yeah.
so that the upstairs might run more than the mid level, but they can come on and off independently as it needs to cool each area.
Well,
which
of
I
course,
like.
you can get, if you really want to have micro. So in a way, it sounds like you have a fancier house than even me with having 2 units, like I see in like bigger mansion type houses where, yeah, if you really care about having a perfect temperature on different levels that you can set differently. Practicality, it's worked well in my houses. Basements are always going to be a bit cooler, so it's like, are you really even saving that much energy too by having 2 units with one set a lot higher downstairs? That's why I like the vent thing too, because you can actually adjust the airflow more with 1 unit. But yes, I do have to
Good.
walk to 6 vents twice a year. Well, 6 downstairs and like 6 upstairs, but yeah. Ooh.
Well, it's more than that too. I mean, if you think about the return vents, if you get into that whole thing where you have multiple return vents, upper and lower, you close the lower in the summertime and you close the upper during the wintertime.
Oh,
That
no,
way
no, no. Yeah, see, you don't do that at all. In fact, if you have, do you have a what's that called? We have one of these things too where fresh air comes in. And so our system's built in a way where we have lots of return vents and they can't be closed at all. And there's also an airflow manifest or something that brings fresh air from outside inside to the house. And the way that the system is, and people always are like, but isn't that bringing cold air in during the winter and hot air during the summer? But the way that the system is, I can show you a diagram sometime where it's like this big square box that's a separate unit next to the main fan blower unit. And what it does is it has 2 pipes going in, 2 pipes going out. And so even if when cold, fresh air comes in during the winter, the return air from the house that's already warm, but it's just coming back, the quote dirty air before it goes through the filter, goes across that thing and naturally heats the air before the air is sucked into the fresh air part, and then vice versa during the summer. And so it's a good way to have like a lot of fresh airflow, but like you don't really have to worry about I mean they've done studies like our houses are this developer called Garbett Home that are super green, super efficient. And I can see what our MERV rating is and stuff, but there must be some science behind it where you can actually have lots of return vents and then fresh air, but it doesn't affect really that much on the cooling or heating part.
So I don't think we have anything that does it for fresh air. So
Mm-hmm.
it's just basically how like a recirculate works in a car.
Yeah,
You're just
yeah.
recirculating the air from the house.
Mm-hmm.
And we were always told to make it the most efficient, you close the return ducts for the air you don't want to pull. So if it's the summertime, you close the lower vents because you don't want to pull the cool air through. You want to
Mm-hmm.
pull the hot air through so it cools it down when it comes back
Yeah.
out.
Interesting.
So it keeps it more efficient. And in the wintertime, you close the upper vents so you're pulling in the lower or the colder air. So it heats
And you
up
don't
when it
get a
comes back
negative
out.
pressure because if you close like all the vents, the fan's going to be trying to pull air, but it'll be like working too hard.
So wherever we have return vents on the main level, like here in the basement, I have 1 return vent. That's it. It's a small enough space. It was just tapped into the main. So
Mm-hmm.
for everywhere else, for the upstairs and the main level with a separate unit, where the return ducts are, there's an upper and lower return duct. So you just close or regulate which return ducts you want at that point. So where there's 2, you have either the upper or the lower open.
Well, what's the point of just partially closing it? I thought you were saying you wanted. Okay.
So you're talking about so that now this is a podcast where we talk AC,
Yeah.
but the actual airflow when it's coming out or blowing out of the fan unit, right?
Mhm.
Those I can see where you're saying you want to close them. Yeah, if you have like one unit to rule them all, right?
Yeah.
Because you have 1 unit, and let's say in the summertime you 90% open the fan out unit or the fan out vents.
Mhm.
So it restricts airflow in the lower part so it doesn't cool down as quickly.
Yeah.
And then maybe 50% on the main level and 100% on the top level. So that way you have airflow appropriately to keep the temperatures at a comfortable level. But yeah, the return ducts are totally separate from that, from the
Oh,
outgoing
yeah, I
fans.
know. Yeah, we have separate return ducts also. Yeah. I was just trying to understand it's so funny. Like you were saying, like it was a pain to close the outgoing ones, yet you're dealing with that for incoming ones anyways.
Right. That's why I think it would be a pain doing it with the outgoing ones, because then it's not only the inbound ones that I would
Well,
have to do, it would be that. So I would have
I
double the
guess for
work.
you, but we don't have to do the inbound ones. It's only the outbound ones when we change it. And I bet a lot of people don't anyways. I mean, right now, no one's living in our basement. So in a way, we don't care that much if it's too cold down there. And my electricity bill is still way better in this house than previous houses. That's how efficient it is. But yeah, back when I had kids living with me, we did during the summer close the downstairs ones. Again, 90% closed. You don't want to close it all the way, or else you get too much negative pressure. But because they were complaining about it being a little cold, and then we did that, and that helped a lot. Because we are
Nice.
not the type of people, also, especially point in my life where money isn't as important, but comfort is. Like I grew up with AC since a kid, like in Southern California, always had it. So I don't want to. I'd rather like save money other places. I don't want to be one of these people that stresses about saving $20 on their electricity bill because they put it up to 76 or 8 or whatever the hell. Like I like it actually comfortable in my house.
Yeah. Mine stays at 72 most of the time.
Yeah. I'll actually do 74 during the day. And that's pretty good. That's how efficient it feels in the house. But at night, I'll put it down to 70. So you're averaging about what I'm doing anyways.
Yep.
Well, right on. This is hopefully people didn't get bored. But then again, I mean, what else are we talking about right now? So it's fun to talk about all sorts of things.
Oh, that reminds me. I got to visit the Holo projector. Oh,
The
let me go do
Holo
that.
Projector.
But you've been playing some other stuff in games before we
I
get to
have.
Destiny.
Yeah.
Star Wars Outlaws.
Star-Lord Outlaw. Yeah, no, I've started Star Wars Outlaws, and it is good. I like it a lot. It has fairly, not like favorable, but I'd say good reviews on Metacritic. It's averaging about 77. Anything over like 75 or higher is like considered pretty good. It is a game that is similar-ish. It's a Ubisoft made by Massive Entertainment, and it's similar-ish to some feels of other Ubisoft games, like Far Cry or Assassin's Creed or stuff, but it's not like exactly the same. But it is a Star Wars type game that has more of an open world feel. Now, this takes place in the lore between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. That's what I was told. I'm actually not the biggest Star Wars nerd by any means, but I at least know like the main movies and stuff. I haven't watched all the other stuff. I watched some of it. And I'll tell you some pluses and minuses, but overall, way more pluses than minuses. Now, first of all, I got it on PC. It plays very, very, very well on PC. I've heard of some complaints on PS5. I don't know about Xbox. They're using a newer engine here. I got to look up the term, which one it was. But they also use this engine for Avatar, the Pandora Avatar game, and that game is amazing also. And I'm telling you, like, I don't know how they're pulling off the graphics. And I know I have a pretty good new rig. We kind of updated some of our PC rigs, a lot of us within the last year. But even for what I have, like, I feel like this is running smoother than it should. Like, I don't know how they're doing it. And they are using all the latest technology. I have a Radeon card, and they're using the latest FSR 3, which not a lot of games are using that. If anything, they use FSR 2. Of course, on NVIDIA, they use all the latest and greatest things for those cards, too. What's really impressive, besides just the performance, like moving around, like even other games, I'll get a little bit of stuttering when it's trying to load something from the card or whatever. But this game, I don't think I've noticed any stuttering. And they do these transitions better than most games, too, where there's a fair amount of like mini cutscenes and even larger cutscenes. But a lot of games will do it where you're watching something and then all of a sudden the camera like zooms in a little bit and then it slows down and then you can instantly start moving your character, right? But a lot of games, how they do that too is it's still a pretty good transition, but when you're doing it, you'll notice some kind of snap or change, like when it actually gets to the part where you can start moving. But on this one, I'm not really noticing that. Oh yeah, they're using the Snowdrop engine, which is supposed to be a really good Ubisoft Snowdrop engine. I don't know much about this, but I was reading an article about it that said that's a really good engine for doing good things in games. All right, gameplay, I like it a lot. It's fun. It's this game is like over ambitious in some parts and under ambitious in other parts. And so if you're the type of person that is really going to get annoyed by in the areas where it's a little under ambitious, then it may not be the game for you. But if you're going to look at it from a step back and then have a lot of fun in the parts that are over ambitious and just overall as a game, then I think it has a lot of potential. And I would say my rating's actually even gone up over time playing it. I first gave, I would say like maybe in 7.5 to 8. Well, now I'm thinking more like an 8 to 8.5 out of 10 as I've been playing a little bit more. There is some concerns with like some things in the long term, but really, like I don't know how they would have gone around this anyways, because it is a single player game that's mostly meant to be done when you're done with it. They try to add these faction systems in that I guess there's a little bit of playing around with them when the game is done. But in practice, from what I've heard and seen people say, like they're not really, they're kind of pointless when most of the game is done. So other than like if you're just completionist and wanting to collect everything, you can build up certain factions so that when you do have that, it's easier to get certain rewards that some of the faction headquarters have or things like that. And welcome to Rodimus Prime.
Hey, what's going on over here? Podcasting or something?
We have a podcast.
The huge.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
I'm doing fantasy football right now, so.
Oh, right on.
RNG Gator says hi. He's doing the same thing. So.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Yeah, we're just shooting the breeze, and thanks for stopping in. But if you got a jet for that, no worries.
I will in a few minutes. I got like 12 picks ahead of me.
Cool. So I'm just finishing my review details on Star Wars Outlaws, and we were talking ACs before this. So listen,
Gotcha.
We're going back for our AC talk, but not Assassin's Creed, but actual air conditioners. Yeah, you have no idea how long we went talking about that.
I'll have to listen later.
But anyways, so the faction thing, I'm not sure what'll be great in the long run, but the systems they have, instead of like a skill tree, you can get abilities through like these cards, and think of them like little quests or bounties. So like if you want an upgrade for an armor piece or something, you have to first find the person that kind of belongs to. You have like an engineer person or whatever, and then once you find that person, they'll have like, okay, I can help you upgrade your armor, but you need to get this part, and then plus it costs some money. And then even when you go and get to one part, they're like, well, that part's a little mini quest over there. So it's kind of cool. Like it gives you a lot to do, but I could see for some people that might be a little annoying. It's not like a skill tree is just XP and then you click on the next one as you play. But I think they said the point of it was to kind of get you to move around more and check out different things. It has 4 main worlds. I've still only been in the first one, with a main city in each main world, but then lots of small little outposts and caves and things to do. That's where the open world part comes in. And then there has a little bit of a space area, which don't think of this as a game where there's like, it focuses on space battle. There's a little bit of that, but it's more like you'll just, above the orbit of each planet, there's like some things you can deal with, like junk you can explore in and collect stuff, or little broken down ships, or even to like big things like early on in the game, they have you land on an Imperial cruiser. Well, not a cruiser, it's a fueling station. It kind of looks like those Crescent ships from one of the original Star Wars movies. And when you land on it, it's quite fun. Like the thing that this game really excels at is when you are in like main areas and how lively they feel. It's kind of like Cyberpunk, but not as good as Cyberpunk, but way closer to that than a lot of other games. Where when I'm in these main cities and walking around, things feel lively and random, and it's not just like this bar has two people standing. Oh, the next bar has two people standing. No, like each one you go to, it's like a wide variety of like maybe they're dancing or they're moving around or there's people to talk to, like conversations you can listen into. And but the Imperial ship that you land on, oh, this is for like any Star Wars nerd. It was so fun. You're sneaking around. You got like the stormtroopers walking around. You got little corridors you go in with all the. It looks like Death Star stuff, like you look from the movies when you're walking around, and the little floating robots, and they're going by, and you have to like avoid them so they don't laser blast you, and like little terminals you go up to and hack, kind of like what R2D2 would do, and a lot of just throwback things that you kind of remember from like the movies. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think it's an excellent game. I would say if you have a choice, if you have multiple systems to get it on, definitely get it on PC rather than PS5 or Xbox. Controller works perfectly great, of course, on this game on PC also. And I'll wait to hear from more people. Maybe it's some issues on the other systems. I don't know or not. And you can get on Ubisoft Plus. That's that subscription service where I still have it for like 15 a month. I was grandfathered in, or 16, I think, but it's up to 19 a month if you just want to do month to month. But that gives you access to all Ubisoft games where you can play all the Assassin's Creeds and everything. Or you can just try that out, or you can pay the full price for it. I think it's a game that has lots and lots of hours to it. I was told the main story, and this isn't including all the side quests and everything. The main story is like 20 to 30 hours. I'm like, not for me. I've been going slow and checking things out, but even the main story part. So even with all the side quests and fun things, I would say easily a 50-hour game. So I'm enjoying it.
Nice. Very nice.
That is my review.
Maybe I'll have time at some point to check it out.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I think this is a game that people just are, I don't know why. A lot of people are just kind of thinking like, why do I want it? Like, they're not sure. And I know everyone wants to play the multiplayer games these days and play with friends and stuff, but people do pass up on a lot of single player games that are amazing. Like Avatar Frontiers of Pandora is another one that I thought that game was awesome from day one, and some people found out about it recently and they're like, oh, yeah, this game's awesome. Like, yeah, I was trying to tell people like it's good. And not all single player games are good, but there are some that are, and I think this is one that will be a good one. They have some DLC content that's already planned in the works also. So you never know. It could be a game that I even think if you bought it at full price, it would be worth it. Just it would give you lots of hours of entertainment. But if you're not sure, wait for some sale or something. But don't sleep on this game. It is cool enough, unless for some reason you were really wanting one specific thing that the game doesn't do, and or maybe you can't play on PC. But I hope I hear enough good things about PS5 and Xbox also. It just goes to show, like, and I think PS5s are still good systems, but they really are still nothing compared to, and in the latest Xboxes, they really are still nothing compared to a PC. And I know, like, they're a lot cheaper, so you can't expect them to be. But yeah, there can be some issues still.
Yeah, and I think I saw recently the Xbox Series X is getting a upgrade for its next iteration, 1 terabyte to 2 terabytes. Not a big difference, but more storage for those who like to.
They're making a PS5 Pro
games
too, and I don't know what they're doing with that. So yeah,
I did not hear that. When's that coming?
Soonish. The rumor is maybe even in a month or two, so it'll be ready for this year Christmas. But if not, it'll for sure come next year. I don't know what all the changes are, and that's going to be. I don't think it's been officially. Let me see while we're talking. But I don't know. I think it just kind of. I think game. Well, yeah. A lot of people can't or won't build a PC, and that's totally fine. But I only use PS5 for like games that are exclusives or maybe play better, which there are sometimes they play better, especially if there's controller issues on that versus PC. But 90% of the time, things are going to be better on PC. Well, let's take, for example, Destiny. Like, I know, I love you, Gator. People will like always say like, well, you can do 120 frames 4K in Crucible. Well, okay, on the PS5, you can do that all the time on PC in PvE also, right? So don't think PS5 is good just because of that. It's just good compared to PS4. Also, by the way, on PS5, when you're doing 120 frames in Crucible, it's not true 4K. They upscale it, so it's 1440. So, but on PC, I'm always getting 165 frames consistently everywhere in Destiny. Rating, PvE, Crucible, if I wanted to hop in Crucible, So, yeah. But we're not hating on the PS5. I have one and love it. I was just saying specifically for this thing. Part of the reason, too, is probably memory management. If you think about it, they have to code games for really tightly for memory management. Where on a PC, we can throw in 32 gigs of RAM and be like, we don't even care. There's plenty of memory, right? So, oh, also, I was noticing, because I was playing settings on high and everything for this game, it was using 12 gigs of VRAM on my video card. I'm not talking about like main RAM, but like, video cards. And this was exactly why I was telling people even like a year ago, like you should get a video card that has 16 gigs of RAM, because we are very quickly pushing on games that are going to be 12 or more. And definitely don't get an 8, get a 12 minimum, but I even recommend a 16 gig card.
So 64 in your computer then.
Sure, whatever. You're not going to be using it for gaming, but maybe for other things.
Right.
But on the video card, definitely look for a 16 gig video card or more. Any other? I don't think you've played any other games, but maybe tell me if I'm missing out on anything.
I have not. That is all.
Well, do you have stuff you want to talk about with Destiny?
I've played Destiny. I've actually been putzing around doing like random, I guess you could call them chores at this point, for the Pale Heart title, and just running around collecting different things, doing the Pathfinder, because you have to do multiple completions of that for the title. What did we do? A raid Saturday? Was it Saturday or was that last week?
No, it was the week before.
Ah, yeah. Okay. That was a vault. Yeah. Actually, we jumped in, did the exotic mission this week. That was fun.
Yeah.
And actually enjoyed it. And spoiler alert, one of my things that we did last night that I saw, somebody posted a video in one of the spoiler channels. So spoiler alert now if you don't want to know about it. But the portal outside of the Whisper mission, where it changed apparently when they put it in the exotic mission rotator or in the legacy tab, instead of showing the vault of glass in that one portal off to the right, it showed a different area, which come to find out was part of this new exotic mission. And you could unlock this portion where where the portal's at after you do the second chest this week. You can go down off the cliff and in behind the waterfall, and that area is open after that chest is unlocked. And you go in where the portal is. On this portal here inside the exotic mission, you cannot see back the other way. But if you stand behind it and look out, it mimics or mirrors what you see in that reflection inside of the Whisper mission.
Yeah, but we don't actually do anything yet. It's more just for
Yeah.
We're looking right now.
I think it's a gimmick. Hopefully it means something in the later or in the coming weeks.
Yeah, eventually.
The exotic mission is fun. I enjoyed it. Played it twice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it a lot. Props. Now, this is, again, we're starting Act 3. And so far what we've been seeing is 3 weeks of content, 3 weeks off for each act. So we're getting closer to the end of episode 1. So we have 5-ish weeks left if they're following the same pattern, because we'll have 3 weeks of content, 3 weeks of off, and then the new episode. But it seems like what they're doing for this act is they're just going to have stuff with the exotic mission that's different for the 3 weeks. In some aspects, you could say, well, that's lame. But another aspect, because it's only the exotic mission we run each week, that's not really different content. But I've heard, and Bungie did tell us this is the biggest exotic mission yet. And while it is big, just how we ran it this week 1, I don't know if you can really claim that succinctly unless there's more going on that we don't know. And all the rumors seem to point that the mission's going to be slightly different and or more added onto it week after week. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And let alone the secret chest too. I really like how they do them in this mission. There's like little mini puzzles you have to do.
And they're not overbearing.
No, they're not.
I found that in some aspects to some of the things recently they've put stuff in it that seems a little bit overbearing, whether it's damage gates to bosses or just the I don't know, the amount of bosses in some areas. But this is I think the exotic mission flows well.
But looping all the way back around, though, yeah, we really love this mission. It looks cool. I love the layout. But we do need to give some caveats if you haven't heard when we're talking back to the bugs, though. This is pretty darn buggy in the end encounter. And what's hard about it, especially when you've gone through it just once or twice, you may not know the mechanics very well. You may be second guessing yourself. Well, let's just say this. If you think like it's time for DPS and the boss doesn't show up, and or the boss is there without a triangle to break his shield, that basically means you didn't do anything wrong. It bugged out. You just need to wipe the encounter and start over. It's funny. At first, we started hearing that if you don't do enough damage, you'll bug out the mission. But I've had more experiences with groups if we do too much damage, we'll bug it out. So maybe it's both even. That's kind of annoying thing. Like, well, how perfect do I have to be? When I'm running it shouldn't be that way. But I've had several times now. I think I run it 4 times, and 3 out of the 4 times, the first time I ran it myself, actually, for whatever reason, did fine. But with other crews, it always bugged out once, and we had to start over. And it's not a huge deal because it doesn't feel like we're annoying. It's not a super long encounter to start over again, but it's still kind of sad that it has to be that way right now.
Yeah. I do wish it wasn't buggy and consistently buggy.
Yeah. Quality assurance testing, again, QA testing.
But it is fun regardless.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, props for that. It's a good admission, I think. I don't know how everyone else feels about it. You like it, I like it. It's fun. I don't mind running it again generally with people. I don't know week 2, week 3. Well, I'll do it because I always do the seasonal mission stuff, and I tend to do it earlier rather than later because it's always easier getting the thing earlier rather than later. You guys have heard my soapbox on that before. The problem with Destiny and some other games, more so than like a true single player game, is yes, I get it for people that are busy and like, I want the content around for like 2 years, even seasonal content. Let's just use that as an example. So I can just get to when I get to it. Yeah, I get that. And I do think they should strive for that. But there's so many moving systems in Destiny that it's kind of impossible for it to always do well in the long run. We've seen this time and time again where they have to loosen requirements or change things or auto unlock things. And one of the big things you run into too is if a mission's a little bit hard also, it's easier finding people that want to play with you earlier on than later on, right? Not saying it can't happen, but later on, you'd probably have to, if anything, just find a random LFG group and or one of those Discords or something. We're always willing to help with things, but I don't know if you guys are all understanding my point I'm making. Just there, trust me, things are easier getting done in the game on the front end than the back end.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree with that. And I don't know if all of this stuff is available in the in-game LFG.
Well, it should be. And even if not, actually, I think this mission did have some bug where it wasn't in the Fireteam Finder or something, but you still can do the traditional way where we ask around in the Discords or go to like the old school LFG or something. That's still around. Or the Destiny LFG Discord or, there's options.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know. I mean, I am always here for when there's new Destiny content because that is what I enjoy the most. And so when there's not content, and we still like to raid occasionally, and if people have any raids they want to experience that they haven't done before, even the new one, I mean, people can hopefully help out. Me and Cyn specifically can help out on a lot of raids, and that's that. Except no one likes Ron. But we want to hear from you all too, like what you're doing in the game right now, in Destiny and other games. Let us know other things you're looking forward to.
For sure.
Destiny, but let's not leave that topic yet. We at least talk about some news in the TWID. We can go through it quicker here. I can pull it up.
Yeah, I saw one that stood out when I popped it up earlier.
Okay. I'm wondering what that is. Let's just go through this. They talk about Encore, the mission. We talked about that. Oh, the weapon's pretty cool. Have you played with it much? Choir of One?
Choir of One. Yes, I actually played with it a little bit. It is very heavy hitting as an auto rifle. I'm just trying to think back. This might be the only special ammo auto rifle.
Yeah, and that's why it needs to be, because you don't want to have something that's special ammo that sucks, or else no one will use it.
And then I think I read something that Bungie acknowledged that it is also right now broken with Divinity.
Yes. So we'll let's just talk about that now, but because I think it's also later in the TWID, but supposedly that part wasn't even, they needed to nerf it right away, but it's broken, so it'll be a nerf in people's eyes, but it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing with Divinity. And then the thing they're pulling back on also is it's going to have less ammo in reserve.
Yeah.
That can ebb and flow. I feel also, though, I hope this isn't a PvP horse leading to the cart that's going to affect PvE also. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times they'll tune things separately, but not always. But I think they're actually thinking it has too much reserves even in PvE. So I think what they're thinking, but I don't know. I want to hear what you all think.
Yeah, I've not tried it personally in PvP, so let us know.
Yeah. But it's a cool weapon, and it is pretty powerful, and I know Astrocross freaking loves it. I like it. I've been using it. It doesn't always fit the builds how I want, but it's cool. It's powerful. Okay, but swords. What's happening with swords?
You have to read the title.
It's swording time.
Morphin time. That's totally. I don't know if they were going for that, but I was totally thinking that when I read it.
Do you want me to read what the details are? Or you
I got this one. This was the one interesting one that I was looking at. So starting September 3rd, all swords in the heavy ammo slot will start regenerating ammo. It's for an entire week and until reset time on September 10th. They mentioned they wanted to have some extra fun wielding a blade. And they go on a little bit about that. So swords effectively have infinite ammo, and there'll be 4 seasonal challenges during this time that will be focused on getting sword kills or getting kills with swords and some of those activities, basically helping you earn some extra XP to reach level 200 in the season pass. There's also something going on now. They're going to announce winners on September 12th in the TWID. If you want to create some crazy videos of using swords, you can get a cool little emblem. It's photo ionization in the movie The Week emblem. Both emblems actually look really, really cool. Not going to lie. I'm probably not going to go out of my way to make a video for the community thing, but it would be awesome.
Yeah. Now, I do want to give the list of what this is going to be in, because it's not all content. Like, you can't do it in raids. But they say you can do it in seasonal content, strikes, nightfalls, so maybe even GMs, Gambit, and the only Crucible mode is the Relic game mode. But then back to PvE, Legend, and Master Lost sectors. So a lot of stuff, but not everything. No raids, and then no other Crucible stuff other than Relic game mode.
But still, a lot of fun.
Yeah, I guess. I'm not down on this idea, but I'm not. It's not going to be that interesting to me. But you're excited for this for a week?
Yeah, even though I don't ever use swords. I've been crutching on some Thunder Chungus.
Well, that's kind of my point. See, just because they said this is fun doesn't mean it's going to be fun for me. I can think ahead of time and be like, I can imagine what it's like putting on a sword, even with unlimited ammo, and I'll be like, okay, maybe it's 10% more fun, but I would still rather use another weapon.
Yeah, and I think part of the reason I don't like using them anyway is because it feels like you do run out of ammo quickly. You could kill a couple red bars with it, and
yeah, but other
what you have
heavy ammo can
50,
run out
55
too.
most.
Especially like
yeah, but
grenade
not as quickly
launchers
as.
Yeah,
no, I get that part. But if you're using grenade launchers, you're typically using them for DPS only on yellow bars or bosses. Thunderlord, I typically will use in whatever I feel like because it'll, with a little bit of ammo and a little bit of effort, you can clear out some small group of ads and then still have it for the chunkier enemies.
Well, I think if I wanted to have fun in the game, just for a week only, and I guess if it's going to trivialize some of the triumphs, they could turn those off for a week. But I think they should have allowed this in raids also. I could see personally being more excited hopping in because what are we gonna do? Like, hey guys, let's get a team and strikes so we can have fun with this. Sure, but like if we could go in a raid with this, this would be kind of fun to try out. But too bad.
So sad.
Yep. But yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. And then we have to remember why this is a thing also because of I think it's almost like they're giving us a little token because they or the sword nerfs. What did they do recently? Oh, the sword skating or something. It's not the same. Yeah, I know we talked, or it's coming up. It's going to be a change.
What?
There was nothing about. I thought we were talking about a week or two ago. They are changing the way sword skating's going. We're upset about it.
I don't remember. I never sword skated anyway, so
streaming this. I don't know. Let us know. I don't feel like doing the research right now. Also, sweating the chat. I want my gamer tag back, but I've tried their steps. It isn't working yet. Yeah, I know. I don't know if you were in the chat earlier when I was complaining about this. This is like a car dealership saying, your car's ready. We finished service on it. And then you show up. Oh, it's not actually ready. I mean, yeah, Sweaty. It's not working for anyone. So don't worry. You're not doing anything wrong. We have to tell them. We have to wait for them to tell us that it's actually working. Version 2.0.
Getting distracted by the thing below Maui.
Well, what else should we go through here in the TWID? Let's see. Blah 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 blah. The Maui thing. I mean, I remember I gave my support and money, so I got the emblem in the shirt. They raised more than $412,000 to help. Remember with the relief of the Maui wildfires, which totally decimated the town of Lahaina. I vacationed in that area before and other areas around there. Ooh, that's cool. The Choir of One. Is that what you're looking at? That little
Yes.
What is that? Like a little plate or something?
I don't know. It's like a they said replica, and I started pulling it up on the Bungie rewards. It's on here for $70. So
It's
let's
like
take a
something you
peek.
put on your wall. It looks like it's somewhat 3D-ish, but it's mostly just like a two-dimensional plate.
It kind of. So it looks like there's a glass front and a backing, and then there's a spacer.
Yeah, space in between, and then they have like a mini version inside.
Yes. It actually looks kind of cool. Apparently, there was other ones in the series. It doesn't. I don't know if it's that big. So it's 6.8 by 13 by 7.
I might get this. On my one wall, I still have the Pantheon display poster, and maybe I'll get this. It could be cool to be close to it, because this to me is way more interesting than like Funkos or shirts or things like that. Everyone has different things that they like.
And apparently, the Exotic Armory collection, there was other ones as well. So there is a Ace of Spades. You have the Choir of One. They have the pins. That's the Angler pin set. There's also, if you read it on there, it says this was like one of a few. But I see the Ace of Spades is available still in the store. And then they said Collection Volume 1. What is this, a book? Oh, yeah, there's a exotic collection book. Interesting. That's only $10. But the Ace of Spades, if you want it multiples, you can have the Ace of Spades for 60 and the Choir of One for 70. It says, yeah, the replica is the 4th installment of our Exotic Armory collection after Vexcalibur, Ace of Spades, and Galahorn. So I guess they did have other ones, but I don't see them here. You just search Galahorn.
Well, they've had this in the game for a while when you're looking, but they wanted to remind us that private matches at the end have rewards now. Now, this doesn't mean you can do quest steps like in private matches, but what it means is you get legendary weapons, armor, and post-game catalyst drop potentials from the end of games. So I guess this is cool. Some people seemed really excited by this, but what legendary weapons and armor are we really hankering to get that we're so excited it's in private matches now? I think it's just people feel better when you're getting something at the end I get that. That's like the little dopamine things. To me, I don't want to just be, here's your rice, feel better. No, I want an actual meal that I like. So just throwing more weapons at me, if they're junk weapons, I don't feel good about that. But I suppose it's good about the catalyst reward drop things. I never thought they were that hard to get, anyways. Even the ones that are Crucible only, I've gotten, I think, pretty much all of them for never hardly playing Crucible that much. But that's a thing. I'll go on, Sen, unless you have anything you wanted to say.
No, I looked for Gallowhorn. I didn't see it. And now I'm going down the rabbit hole of looking through the Bungie store. Probably like the worst idea ever. LED gaming locker. What the hell is that? I mean, there's some cool stuff in there. I don't think they have a lot in here right now, but I was checking out the class rings. They have one for Warlock, Titan, and Hunter. I don't remember those from before. Of course, the Titan one it's red, which I like. The Gambit necklace is kind of cool if you like some extra jewelry. But the exotic armory collection, those mini replicas, they're kind of cool. Ace of Spades and Choir One would be kind of cool to have.
Okay, and then when the new episode comes out, which, by the way, they tell us here October 8th, my birthday, by the way, that is the new seasonal content. As we now know, they're called episodes. Episode Revenant launches. But also that's when the change in the Pathfinder system for rituals will be happening. This is a good thing I think everyone can agree with. They are separating the playlist Ritual Pathfinder into an actual Vanguard one, a Gambit one, and a Crucible one. So that's cool. No reason to not do this, I feel like. I don't know that this is going to get me to still use it that much more, but definitely a good idea on this.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yep. And then nothing really too interesting to me in fixes or errors, unless you want to read anything. Artist of the Week is always cool. And then that's it for the news with Destiny. The news. All right. So next episode is not the Dreadnought one, right? It's the one after, I believe. So
wait, what?
Remember, we are getting the Dreadnought in the Hive episode in this Destiny year. You don't remember that? They didn't tell us what that means or how much of the Dreadnought. We will be able to explore some in the Dreadnought when the Hive episode comes out.
It'll probably be like what they did with, what's the thing where Callus was on?
Yeah, I know. That's my more pessimistic point of view too. Hopefully it's more so than that. I didn't love the color scheme, and also they brought back maybe half of the explorable space, most of the actual raid, but the actual explorable areas, not all of it, not all the raid. The Dreadnought is pretty large, actually, so I couldn't really see them bringing back all of it, especially the really unique areas like the big Cabal ship that kind of leads to the strike area and stuff. Why would they? I have to even admit, because that's mostly there just for the strike. So, but whatever. I mean, it's something.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. What else do we want to talk about tonight, if anything?
That is all.
That is all.
I'm drinking wild cherry Pepsi, and I have a grape lemon geek bar.
Geek.
Yeah.
What's a geek bar?
Oh, vape. Nicotine vape.
Oh, okay. You crazy.
3 on that one, didn't I?
You're so crazy.
The flavors are great.
I want to experience a cigar again sometime.
Oh, it's been a minute, but I do enjoy that. Have a little
Let's
drink,
get
a
a
little
Guardian
cigar.
Hub meetups in. We'll get that going.
Heck yeah. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we thank everyone who shows up for things, who posts messages in the Discord. We really appreciate all of you. I know people get busy with things and games ebb and flow. We have all our main Destiny areas. And then just a reminder also, we do have a forums area where I make postings from a lot of different games that are interesting to me. And anyone else is invited to make a posting if you have a game that's interesting to you. And so we do have talk about other games in those areas. Unlimited amount. Make a forum posting for whatever game you want. But do try to find that posting if it's a game that probably already has one. And yeah, and then just bring your other talk, whatever you want, food, entertainment, bring it to the table.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. And if you're not in the Discord, better yet, join it. It doesn't mean anything crazy. You can just read what other people are writing about, not post anything yourself if you don't want. And yeah, and just have fun there.
I'm checking out Ubisoft Plus.
Oh, are you? Are you thinking
Yeah.
about it? Do it,
I
Cyn.
was.
Do it.
I was debating whether or not to spend the 18 plus tax or whatever for the 1 month and seeing if I like it. But if I can't remember, was Pandora part of Ubisoft Plus as well?
Yep. And tons of Far Cry games and all the Assassin's Creed games. And yeah, plus lots more. You can look at the whole library, I think, ahead of time if you're not sure.
I had some. Like the only one that I like here in my games, like I have Valhalla, Division 2, Far Cry 5, Assassin's Creed Origins, For Honor, Deep. I don't know what that is. The Division, or the First Division, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Far Cry 5, or sorry, Far Cry 4, Assassin's Creed Unity, Rayman Legends, Assassin's Creed 2 are all part of my library. And I don't know if that's crossed over from claiming free games from Epic from time to time, which it may be. But I have all those Ubisoft games that I don't need the pass for.
Yeah.
But anyway,
well, honestly,
I
like
consider.
especially with your time, I don't even think you're gonna have time to play other games. Even just playing the one game for that price, I don't even think you could probably get it done in a month. You'd have to hit it hard. But if you got it done in a month or even 2 months, it's not a high price to pay for a good quality game. And then just kind of consider if you like the other games. Also, another big Ubisoft game coming out, Assassin's Creed Shadows, the Japan one in November.
I saw that.
Forward to that.
I actually might have been interested in that just for the simple fact I never played what's that other game? Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh,
I think I made 20 or 30 minutes into it
and
then never got really into it. But I would be interested in maybe checking out Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's things, not for everyone, but I generally enjoy it. Well, I wanted to go through our list real quick of our Patreon members. Shout out to everyone. Right now, our active Patreons are Salt, basically Salt, Coderson, Metal Jaws, Scoot, Fiery Pink Yoda, Fublup, Philp, Red Grackle, Cloud Nebula, Gator, and Kato. So thank you, everyone.
Y'all are beautiful.
You are so beautiful.
Yeah.
And
you can find me in the club.
What's that?
Said you can find me in the club or in Discord.
Yeah, I'll let you do that first, and then I'll tell where to find how to join our
I was
Patreon.
just going to do it and make you sit there and take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can find me. Normal spots, Discord, the socials. Either Cyn Media or Cyn_media. Kingsley, Steve3PO Mac.
Yes.
Take us
You
out.
can find me all the places as Kingsley Mac, except for in Destiny. Right now, I'm still Guardian. Hopefully, I can change that soon. You can find you can find information about our show, how to join the Discord, how to join the Patreon, any of the above, at our lovely website. What is that address, you may ask? www.theguardianhub.com.
The best hub on the net.
Thank you, Cyn. And thank you, no one else right now, other than everyone listening to the show. Actually, thank you, Rodimus, for joining a little bit and telling us you had to leave.
And thanks, Sweaty, for being in the chat. And thanks for letting me do the best hub on the net this week because we missed it last week.
We'll catch you all again next week. Have a good one.
Bye.